low voter turnout as Nguma Sumba electorates head to the polls to vote for a new MCA after the death of Harris Ngumi in June this year. High Court declares government's ongoing rollout of Huduma number a contravention of the law, pointing out on the government's failure to carry out an impact assessment. HIF banks on Parliament to amend the law to establish provisions of pandemic and epidemic cover. Right, let me know where you're watching us from. Keep your SMSs coming. We are Lookup TV on all our social media platforms. Now, the High Court has declared the government's ongoing rollout of Huduma number as being in contravention of the law. According to the court, the government failed to carry out an impact assessment, which leaves Kenyan vulnerable to data abuse. The court has, however, refused to stop the rollout, as was sought by the Katiba Institute, which sued the government over data protection concerns. Calvin Kodalo with that story.
In his judgment, Justice Jairus Nga said that the government has failed to conduct a data impact assessment, which leaves Kenyans vulnerable to various data protection risks. According to Katiba Institute and Professor Yash Falgai, who sued the government in the case, the data impact assessment would assist to safeguard Kenyans from privacy breaches, loss of data, and unlawful use of a cardholder's information. The Huduma number registration required a person's photo, information about themselves, their parents or guardians, their address, among other details. According to the state, the program combines vital documents, including the national ID, passport, driving license, National Social Security Fund, and the National Hospital Insurance Fund numbers. Katiba Institute and Professor Yash Falgai, however, were not successful in the attempt to have the court to stop the process. Justice Nga instead ordered the government to conduct the data assessment before processing data and carrying out the rollout. This order adds uncertainty to the process, with millions having collected the Huduma cards. According to government spokesperson Cyrus Ungana, 11.2 million Huduma cards have been processed and 6.5 million have been collected by Kenyans across the country. Calvin Kodalo, Lookup TV, Nairobi.
Thank you, Calvin, for that story. Now, the Parliamentary Finance Committee is today submitting a report before Parliament in order for the House to deliberate and resolve the fuel crisis in the country. Speaker Justice Muturi directed the committee to table its report within 14 days in view of the urgency of the matter and in consideration of the effects it has on the populace. Finance Committee is also expected to attach a draft bill to the report for any approval for publication, proposing legislative intervention by the National Assembly. Following increase of fuel prices, super petrol, diesel and kerosene went up to 134 shillings, 115 shillings and 110 shillings per litre respectively in Nairobi. The cost of fuel that has subsequently led to the increase in prices of other commodities. Now, let us look at matters health. The National Hospital Insurance Fund, NHIF, is banking on Parliament to amend the law to establish provisions of how pandemic and epidemics such as COVID-19 will be covered in future. David Kasembeli has more on that.
The NHIF Chief Executive Officer Dr. Peter Kamunyo told senators that there is no law currently that defines how pandemics and epidemics are to be covered by insurers. Dr. Kamunyo told the Senate Health Committee that the NHIF Amendment Bill 2021, which aims to create the appropriate health insurance legal framework for attainment of universal health care, should be amended to include the provisions. He said that it is expected that after the review of the Kenyan's legal framework on health insurance, through amendment of the NHIF Act, regulations and policies will be put in place to create provisions on coverage of pandemics such as COVID-19. Dr. Kamunyo said that NHIF currently only covers frontline workers from critical illness like COVID-19, following a presidential directive. He said that the average cost of COVID-19 admissions in hospitals is 603,130 Kenyan shillings. He added that it costs NHIF up to 82,584 Kenyan shillings per day of admission to treat COVID-19 patients in non-governmental designated institutions, compared to 62,222 Kenyan shillings for the NHIF per reimbursement. The cost rises to 241,464 Kenyan shillings for the market rate reimbursement per day of the treatment. The cost rises to 241,468 Kenyan shillings for the market rate reimbursement per day of treatment. He said that the NHIF will require 10.5 billion Kenyan shillings for the 6 million project utilization. He added that from the projections, the fund will need at least 1,086,309,745 Kenyan shillings to cover the population for the next 6 months. When restricted to NHIF beneficiaries, this translates to 330 million Kenyan shillings, 1.4 billion Kenyan shillings and 3.6 billion Kenyan shillings in the 3 scenarios of non-government designated facilities and market rate facilities. He said due to the enormous financial outlay that will be required to cover members for the pandemic, coupled by the fact that the risk exposure of COVID-19 cannot be accurately determined, NHIF has not been able to undertake the costs related to COVID-19 management. David Kasembeli, Lookup TV, Nairobi.
Thank you, David, for that report. Now, U.S. Senator Jim Risch has asked the U.S. President Joe Biden to raise concerns over deep corruption in the Kenyan government, ongoing incidences of communal violence, and Kenya's increasing debt from China in today's meeting. Biden will host President Uhuru Kenyatta at the White House later today, and the two will hold talks over democracy and human rights protection, economic empowerment, and transparency in local and international financial systems.
The ranking member of Senate's Foreign Relations Committee and Idaho Senator Jim Risch yesterday released a statement asking President Biden to raise concerns over upcoming elections and rising political temperatures in Kenya, together with the ongoing communal violence in Laikipia region. The American politician also asked President Biden to look into matters of the mounting debt owed by Kenya to Chinese government and financial institutions, together with widespread institutional corruption in Kenyan government when he meets his Kenyan counterpart Uhuru Kenyatta. Senator Risch also remarked on Kenya as an important ally to the United States in the international community's effort to fight terrorism, and asked the Kenyan government to use its position as the president of UN Security Council to elevate security and humanitarian concerns in Ethiopia's Tigray region at the UN most powerful decision-making organ. The bilateral talks between Kenya and the US head of states at the White House are the first to be held by President Biden with an African leader. The two presidents meet after a telephone conversation between them earlier in February, in which President Biden committed to fostering diplomatic and economic relations with the East African nation based on mutual respect. Top on the agenda of the White House meeting are the United States and Kenya's effort to defend and protect democracy and human rights around the world, global and regional peace and security, tackling climate change, and enhancing transparency and accountability in the local and international financial systems. Transparency in financial system is a topic expected to raise controversy in the Washington talks today, coming days after the consortium of international journalists revealed that President Kenyatta is among foreign leaders whose families have stashed money and wealth in offshore accounts. Indakwa Were, Lookup TV, Nairobi.
Right, we do hope that the bilateral talks will yield fruits for both countries. Now, the Office of the Attorney General and the Department of Justice, CAS, Professor Ntiba Micheni, has called for implementation of anti-corruption studies in Kenya's education curriculum as part of the measures aimed at preventing graft into the country.
Chief Administrative Secretary Professor Ntiba Micheni has emphasized on the need to introduce anti-corruption activities and a culture of integrity in schools, right from kindergarten to tertiary institutions. He said that this will help inculcate in Kenya a culture that is fearlessly against corruption. During a meeting between the officials in Nakuru, the National Anti-Corruption Campaign Steering Committee, Deputy County Commissioner Eric Wanyonyi, Deputy Governor Dr. Eric Korir, and the CAS Micheni concluded that parents should do their part by instilling values of hard work, integrity, and honesty to their children. By doing this, children will grow up appreciating transparency, accountability, and respect for the rule of law. Micheni urged students in institutions of higher learning and residents to form anti-corruption club and work closely with the county anti-corruption civilian oversight committees, which are operational in Nakuru and other 30 devolved units, to help stop corruption in the country. Dr. Korir called on all relevant state agencies to closely monitor financial dealings of the politicians and other allies in bid to stop corruption as the country approaches next year's general election. The director of National Anti-Corruption Steering Committee, Mr. Gadhi, indicated that in some areas, public projects are implemented without properly constituted because of the inadequate and lack of access to public information on public projects. Over the years, Kenya has been experiencing cases of corruption. Kirinyaga County Governor Anne Waiguru was accused by Kirinyaga MCAs of awarding herself with 10.63 million Kenyan shillings and impressed to travel allowances for foreign trip during the NYS scandal. Governor Moses Kasaine was linked to 84.7 million fuel supply scandal to Oryx service station, which the police believe is owned by the governor, was given a tender to supply to the county government, which was against the law. These are among the few corruption cases in the country that has been highlighted by the media. Celine Nyangere, Look Up TV, Nairobi.
Thank you, Celine, for that report. I hope that you can relate to that. And let me know, what's your take on that story? Will you cooperate with the government in terms of, implementing learning of anti-corruption in institutions? Let me know what you think about that. Now, on to our next story. Apollo Agricultural Group has partnered with APA Insurance Company to provide insurance covers and financial support for farmers around the country. The joint project, which has recently held an event to provide payouts for farmers under the program in Kirinyaga County, is helping tens of thousands of small farmers make the most out of agribusiness.
Nimepata 12,950. Ikabaki 31,32. Nimeshukuru Apollo juu wamefanya vizuri sana.
Stakeholders at Apollo Agriculture say they have been working with small-scale farmers to build much-needed trust between the rural farmers and insurance companies. The partnership between Apollo Agriculture, APA Insurance, and a third organization known as PULA targets to reach 100,000 farmers countrywide, having reached over 70,000 farmers already.
This year we have served farmers here in Kirinyaga, unfortunately a lot of them were affected by drought. So we work with our partners, PULA and APA, to provide insurance cover to these farmers. And as part of our package that we give our farmers, the whole package includes insurance. So as part of that, today we are here to give payouts to these farmers. We plan to continue working with these farmers. Right now we are doing short trains, recruitment of farmers at the moment here in Kirinyaga and part of the eastern region. We continue to do this and we continue to support our farmers.
We've partnered with Apollo since 2017. We are happy that the journey we started like in one step, where we insured 1,000 farmers, has grown to this extent where we are now insuring over 70,000 farmers across the different regions in the country. They say the main target is to get small-scale farmers into agribusiness and continue supporting livelihoods. This year alone, the partnership has helped farmers whose farm produce has been adversely affected by drought and lack of enough rains, leading to low yields in many parts of the country.
Basically, our partnership involves working closely with small-scale or smallholder farmers in Kenya, just to support them to improve their productivity and also to support them for continuous agricultural activities. With the current happenings with regards to climate change, it's so unpredictable and farmers are adversely affected in case of adverse weather conditions. And today we are here because as APA we were the agriculture underwriters in this project, and we are glad because today we'll be making a payout to the farmers affected by drought. And we are here with Apollo and PULA just to show support to these farmers by giving them a payout and show them that it was worth investment.
The project, which was started in 2017, involves designing and distributing insurance covers for rural clients and small-scale farmers. Farmers who have been registered under the insurance scheme say they have reaped great benefits from the project, especially during the tough economic times occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic.
Pora imenifurahisha sana sababu season iliyopita hakukuwa na hewa nzuri, hatukupata mvua nzuri, kwa hivyo mavuno ilikuwa ndogo, lakini kampuni ilitulipa na nimefurahi.
And my message to the other farmers out there that they've got this message or who haven't got message about agriculture insurance is that it's something that they should think of. It's something that they should be budgeting as one of their normal inputs when they are planning for their farming activities.
Waris Kimathi, Look Up TV in Nairobi.
Thank you, Waris, for that report. That's a relief for farmers around the country. Now, that story takes us to a commercial break. But first, I'll just read some of the comments streaming in. I'm having David Kase saying, watching the bulletin live from Lavington. Thank you so much. And then Filmao Yakimathi says, GOK needs to intervene at NHIF before the fund goes bankrupt, kama KQ and now KPLC. I'm having Archie Williams saying, anti-corruption studies might be a smart move to reduce corruption in the country. Then lastly, I'm having Leyland Shiru saying agriculture is the backbone for this country. The government ought to provide adequate finance and their full support towards farming. Keep SMSs coming, and still this is trending news. Don't go too far.
Business, broadcast your sermon, share birthday wishes, make funeral announcements, produce adverts and documentaries, then book and advertise with us today by calling us on +254 700 893 542
700 893 542
or email us on sales@look-up.tv.
The future of money is simple, like unlocking possibilities with a smile and having the world in the palm of your hand. It's the ability to touch many lives at the same time and turn your dreams into reality. It's forgetting and still remembering. Simple is having everything that you love in one place. From the ticket to your next meal, to your ticket to the next holiday. It's an easy way to ask for a boost when you're low. And keeping track of everything on the go. The future of money is simple, and it's here. Download the new M-Pesa app today.
Please make those payments and take dinner out the freezer. Enjoy your day off.
Hey.
How was your day?
Great.
Did you pay the bills?
Abby did it.
And the plumber?
Abby did it.
Send money to your mom?
Abby did it.
Who's Abby?
Bank on WhatsApp with Abby, your 24/7 digital personal banker. Another digital innovation that gets things done. That's Africanacity. That's ABSA.
Did you take dinner out the freezer?
Did you know the world's top icons and legends who have made history are dyslexic?
Dyslexia is a learning disorder that is characterized by difficulty in reading due to problems with identifying speech sounds and learning how they relate to letters and words. Dyslexia affects areas of the brain that process language. Symptoms include delayed speech, learning new words slowly, and a delay in reading. These legends made it, and so can your child.
Like, follow, subscribe, click the notification button. Join the Look Up TV movement now.
Welcome back and thank you for watching Trending News. We still have so much lined up for you. And let me know what is trending at this hour wherever you are. Keep your SMSs coming on all our social media platforms at Lookup TV. And we go on. Low voter turnout has been witnessed in Gumasumba Ward polling station. More than 11,000 voters are expected to cast their votes today to elect their new ward representative after the death of MC Harris Ngui, who died in a road accident.
Massive rallies and high political visitation in the land of Ngumasumba Ward. The residents are now at the center stage to what is the most critical part of it, voting.
The turn-up that we have seen since morning will continue. And we are hopeful that at the end of the day, we'll have a good show from the public in terms of participating in the elections. All our kids are also performing well. We didn't have much incidences of our electronic equipments, not responding well. However, we have noted a few incidences where the voters' fingerprints are worn out, and the kids cannot pick them up. But this is expected in such exercises. You expect a small minority to have such issues, and we have methods of dealing with in the event something like that happens. So generally, so far so good. We haven't really had any incidences of insecurity. The ward is generally calm. The voters are very composed and very organized, and we are happy with the organization so far.
Maybe any comment about the yesterday fracas between WIPE and UDA?
I don't know about it.
More than 11,000 voters are expected to cast their vote today to elect their new ward representative after the death of MCA Harris Ngui, who died on 15th June in a tragic road accident. Although low voter turnout has been witnessed in the polling station, the ward representative seat attracted 3 aspirants: UDA candidate Daniel Kivuda Musau, Esio Mwaiwa Wiper candidate, and independent candidate Timothy Maneno, both of them competing for 11,256 votes. The ward has 31 polling stations. The IEBC Kibwezi East Administrative Officer Maureen Ayoro has said that the process started successfully in the morning and they are expecting more people to turn out before the end of the day. Shada Kareria, Lookup TV, Nairobi.
Now, looking on to matters education, principals from various schools across the country have been put on the spot over allegations of extorting parents by leveling unwarranted charges as learning resumes this week. Parents have also complained about students being sent home over school fees arrears, despite the Ministry of Education cautioning school heads against it.
Parents across the country have decried the hiking of school fees, contrary to the initial fee structures issued by different schools. According to the National Parents Association, students are still being sent home over school fees arrears, despite the Ministry of Education cautioning teachers against doing the same. The National Parents Association chairman Nicholas Mayo has now questioned the legality of extra fees being charged. Mayo added the hiking of the school fees by the principals has been a concern to parents who now threaten to take legal action against those found culpable of ignoring the Ministry of Education's directives. A section of the school heads had raised complaints on the inadequate funds to run operations of their institutions. This comes despite the Ministry of Education recently releasing 17 billion shillings as second-term capitation for learners to cater for both primary and secondary schools. Out of this amount, 2.6 billion shillings went to primary schools, while 14.85 billion was allocated to secondary schools. As the school opening week comes to a close, the Teachers Union wants the government to fast-track the release of bursaries and provide food to unprivileged children in northern Kenya, failure to which school dropouts will probably increase. Garissa NAT executive Abdirizak Hussain said on Wednesday that a majority of parents in the northern part of Kenya depend on livestock trade to raise school fees. This has, however, been a challenge given the ongoing drought.
And that story marks the end of our bulletin this evening. And I'm just going to look at some of the trending stories right now on Twitter. And I'm looking at Agnes Tirop, who has died after she was found dead in her house. And just looking at people's responses, I'm seeing Honorable Caleb Kositani MP says, "Rest in peace, Agnes Tirop. Your bright future has been brought to an abrupt end. Murder will never be resolved. We really hope justice will be served for her death." And I'm still looking at other people's opinions, and I'm getting Dr. Leila, who's saying, "The silence by the world when black women are harmed and killed. Say her name, justice for Agnes." Kenyan runner Agnes Tirop has been found dead at just 25 years old after she was allegedly stabbed by her husband. She was found with stab wounds in her abdomen and neck. That's just among the stories trending, and we hope justice will be served for her. Then we are looking at King Kaka. King Kaka is a top artist in the country, and we're just looking at people's opinions because he has been ailing for the past almost 1 month plus. And some of the takes, I'm finding someone called Juma G saying, "King Kaka felt sick, walked into a hospital, a doctor misdiagnosed him, gave him a wrong medication, and now he can neither walk nor sit." Question is, how many similar cases have gone unreported, and how many Kenyans are suffering in silence? That's just among some of the stories. Those are just among some of the stories trending right now on Twitter, and so much more will be highlighted during the 7 p.m. news. But until next time, goodbye.
We value your feedback and welcome your complaints about our programming and operations. Feel free to get in touch with us through 0700 893 542 or send us an email to views@look-up.tv. We can't wait to hear from you.
Want to grow your business? Broadcast your sermon, share birthday wishes, make funeral announcements, produce adverts and documentaries, then book and advertise with us today by calling us on +254 700 893 542.
700 893 542.
Or email us on sales@look-up.tv.
The future of money is simple, like unlocking possibilities with a smile. And having the world in the palm of your hand. It's the ability to touch many lives at the same time and turn your dreams into reality. It's forgetting and still remembering. Simple is having everything that you love in one place. From the ticket to your next meal, to your ticket to the next holiday. It's an easy way to ask for a boost when you're low. And keeping track of everything on the go. The future of money is simple, and it's here. Download the new M-Pesa app today.
Oh, hi. Oh, the script. I have been trying to edit this script for such a long time. It just doesn't seem to make so much sense. I mean, bogs, shouldn't that be dogs?
Could this person be dyslexic? Yeah, because we could have a genius amongst us. You know, like Whoopi Golden